If you haven't been following along, I will give you a very quick recap of what's been going on. We've been making our way south for the season, and as we were making our way down the ICW towards Wrightsville Beach, so that we could take the next weather window out the Cape Fear Inlet, we started hearing this unsettling clunking sound, which led us to briefly anchoring in the channel, calling a towboat, and realizing that our sail drive leg has a lot of water mixed into the oil. Thankfully, a friend reached out and offered up their drive leg for us to rebuild and swap it out with ours. Ideally, we will not be hauling out to make this swap happen, but we'll have to see how it plays out. It is super rainy and cloudy and cold, and the dinghy is soaking wet, so I am squatting in the back while Patrick's rowing us with one oar because we broke one of them. So, wish this dinghy engine would start, but you know, it is from 1998. She's pretty old.
Probably needs to be rebuilt.
Thinking maybe a new dinghy engine is in their future here, but you can get 4-stroke in the States, but you can't get 2-stroke anymore. So we kind of want to wait until we're in the Bahamas and maybe pick one up. We'll see. But this has been a little bit brutal, not having the boat engine and then not having the dinghy engine. Patrick's cranky. I'm getting really good at squatting though. I'm getting that leg workout in. In the last episode, Patrick started disassembling the drive leg and wire brushing all of the pieces. Tell me about your dreams and desires.
I desire to be moving south again. But to get there, we got to get the last bit of the drive leg apart, which, man, this has been a journey. It's been an adventure. It's been a lot of hammering and torching and everything. There are 8 bearings in the drive leg that we are going to be removing and replacing. It may seem a bit overkill to do a full overhaul of the drive leg like this, replacing all of the bearings and seals, but the last time we hauled out, we only fixed what we could see was wrong, and it seemed to come back and bite us. This time, we want to make sure everything is right. We got a bearing puller to get some bearings off, which is good. A new addition to the family, a vise. Kind of need one. Need to get this nut off, but the nut here is like attached to this, so it just spins. So it's kind of hard to actually get it loose. So we're gonna try to vise it and see how that goes. So I was wondering if we could just use these to kind of clamp it down, keep things in place. Might not even need to, but we'll do it as a precautionary measure. Here, I am using a rubber glove to help protect the metal from the impact of the vise, while also providing extra friction to help it hold still. We have an impact driver, and then we bought these. We'll put that on this guy. With this piece in the vise, we were able to use the impact driver to break the nut loose so we could get everything apart. Okay, so there was like clearly some thread lock around there.
It smells like a Jiffy Lube.
You smell like a Jiffy Lube.
Ooh, she's apart.
And look, no damage to our beautiful little boy.
It's a boy?
Tiny boy, baby boy.
Good job, love.
Thank you. This is why the vise was so awesome.
I'm going to be honest with you all, there are some unhappy times in this video. I would say we are generally happy people with positive outlooks, and we're doing okay. I know everyone wants to see us happy, and we're working on it. But we are just trying to keep it real and honest with you all because that is what our channel is all about. Unfortunately, we just run into problem after problem this week, but that's okay, there will be happier times ahead.
Here I put the shaft in a vise so that we can loosen the top bolt. Otherwise the shaft just spins when we try to loosen the bolt. We'll figure out how to get that out of there later, but overall, that's good stuff. Unfortunately, this bearing puller wasn't going to work for what we need, so we might need to find something else next time we run to the hardware store. Probably clean that up first.
You want a rag?
Yeah, a rag would be good, and then we need the wire brush. We don't really need to burn this stuff off. I sometimes need to use a wire brush to clean parts, even if we're just going to toss them. Otherwise, the torch will start burning the buildup, which I just don't really want to breathe in. Heating up parts with a torch can help loosen things up and make them easier to pull apart.
We originally were planning to make this drive leg swap here on anchor. by jacking up the rear of the boat with some very large inflatable fenders. But after making a friend in the area, we are actually thinking we're going to beach the boat on a sandbar nearby. We have never beached our boat, or any boat for that matter, so we're feeling a little nervous but excited for this new plan. They say beaching a boat to do a repair is a poor man's haul out, and honestly, we can't really argue with that.
The outside of this bearing came off, but the internal ring stayed on this gear. I went back and forth between hammering and torching these parts. I believe that is because thread locker was used in the installation, and that has to be weakened before things will come apart. I was gonna say, I had some gloves around here somewhere. Just touching this stuff while it's so hot is, well, it's very hot. Okay, one done. Ended up with just a small little chip on this gear. But hopefully that'll be okay. I don't think it's in like that important of a spot. There's like a thread locker that helps keep the bearing on, and I think that needs to like melt a little bit before it actually comes out. Woo! There was a little shaft piece in this bearing that was quite stuck, and it was actually kind of hard to work with, but I used the power of the vise to screw things apart. One way or another, get all these bearings off.
Another thing that has been going on is our dinghy engine not working. Patrick has cleaned the carburetor, changed the spark plugs, changed the intake reed valve assembly, and more. It has progressively just been getting worse and worse. It would take a few pulls to get it started, and then a few more, and so on and so on. Now it seems like no matter what we try, nothing is happening.
Like nothing, bro. Just nothing.
I'm videoing your Does that help? Besides rowing around a bunch, we grabbed a YMCA membership so that we could shower. It's been way too cold to shower off the back of our boat, and we were getting tired of washing our hair in the sink. Also, Patrick had to get on some antibiotics for accidentally cutting up his leg with the wire brush attachment on the drill. Shout out to our friend Bryony on Cutter Buff Sailing for helping us out with this injury.
Woke up this morning to our completely, I was almost dead battery. If you remember really early on, I think we had a similar issue where like the battery monitor just kind of starts wavering a little bit, and then you end up in this spot where it says 100%, but you might actually be only like 20% or 30%. So we just turn the engine on, we'll just run it all day today. Or not all day today, but like, let's say 8 hours or so. It's kind of a crummy day out, so we're not going anywhere. It's funny because I feel like the first time this happened, it was like full panic mode. And this time I was just like, no, okay. Obviously, like there was just the drift. We haven't been motoring. I mean, it's the winter time, so we haven't been getting a lot of solar. We've been running the jet some, but like by and large, I was like, we've done this one already. We've went through this problem in a panic state already. It's like not even a crisis. It's just been averted. We generally don't like to idle the engines in order to charge our batteries, but it charges around 2 to 3 times faster than the generator, so we will do it when it's absolutely necessary. Whew. Okay, engine running. Sorry that it's a little loud. With no battery, we just kind of gotta keep it going. Just another thing. Just another thing. Broken to take care of, etc. But we're feeling okay. I bought this this big bearing kind of separator because these guys are actually kind of being a little tricky to work on. I can show you on the other one. Like with it being so close, like this is the gear and this is the bearing, and we're trying to just separate them so that we can get some new ones on there. Just being a bit of a pill. So I think with the power of this wedge, we'll be able to make it happen. You can see it's kind of like separating slowly. I almost thought I needed a smaller one, but I feel like if I went any smaller, it just almost wouldn't have fit. But I actually bought this one because it was the only one that came in a solo. It was like somehow the lightest by weight one, so I was kind of like, okay, this should be fine. And like part of me's felt a little bad about like how long this process has been taking, but it feels like everything is just like this. Everything just needs like a little bit more work than you'd like. That little bit of sunlight feels so good. Okay, maybe a little bit of heat would be good here. You know, some of these things just require quite a bit of force, and that's okay. I'm gonna loosen these guys up because I don't think we have any of like the long sockets. But I did just buy, you know, this bigger socket set. I feel like I should have something. Well, we're hopefully just gonna use the power of the torque wrench here to try to help split this guy up. I'm such a disorganized worker, it's kind of a nightmare. Like anybody who's done a project with me would know. Whoa! Timber. And kind of just keep wedging them apart little by little. I had a feeling that there was gonna be like this breaking point. Bearing is like 1,000 degrees. Ta-da! So we got 2 of them. This is way nicer to do it with this. And also having a vise, I'll keep saying it. Having a vise is just the bomb. It's like 35 pounds of extra stuff to carry on the boat, which you never really want to be doing. You never really want more weight on the boat. But I don't know, kind of worth it in this case. I think we might try to PB blast this one a little bit more. Let me seep in a little bit. Break up the thread locker a touch. I had to repeat this process for the other bearings after taking a small break to let PB Blaster soak in while I ate lunch. After that, I was finally able to get the second bearing apart.
Unfortunately, with everything else going on, our generator also stopped working. Normally we only use it when we make water or if it's raining for a couple days in a row, but there has been so little sunlight with it being winter that we've had to use it almost every day.
Just so tired of everything being flippin' broken all the time. The dinghy engine won't start, so we've just been rowing, and now the generator won't start. I'm gonna try to swap out the carburetor, but the carburetor, this one's a little different. Maybe it'll still work, I don't know. It's just like, when does it end, you know? Like, could things just break one at a time instead of it being like such a nightmare? Like, I bought one off Amazon, but I never have a lot of confidence that they're the same. This guy's like missing a little ball too. I don't know. They look kind of the same. I'd say we try it. Okay, I need a new paper filter though. It also came with some inline fuel filters. New spark plug too. So we got our paper gasket. Can we turn this so that it is the other way? I don't really think it matters. I'm just gotta tighten this down. Look, this just isn't even gonna fit. Oh, you know what, this fit. Let's see, can we put this on the new carburetor?
These carburetors weren't a perfect match, so I ended up using some of the old hoses as well as the top electrical component of the old carburetor. This generator is actually European, so it can be a little trickier to replace the parts and even harder to find a full replacement, as they don't generally sell European generators in America.
Normally I don't run this inside the cockpit, but before I take this all out, then to work on it more, let's just try it. Okay, let's change the spark plug quick. Let's see, did it come with the same one? Certainly not. Okay. Which makes me feel like I bought the wrong thing, even though it said it was the right thing. It said it was the replacement for this one. Let's just put this one back in for a second and see if it'll start. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, this video does not have the happiest of times in it, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to push through to get to the other side, and we definitely want to get to the other side.
So we're just draining the fuel out of it now. Then maybe we'll be able to get this stuff off. I wish would work at all. But instead, I just work on stuff, and it doesn't get any better. Okay, so I went to go eat dinner with Michaela and then came back and kind of just put everything back together. Yeah, now the generator's working again. New carburetor, wiring seems okay. One thing down. There's a bunch more to go. Whew, we're getting there. Though it's supposed to snow this week, like 4 days. So yeah, we'll deal with that. our dinghy engine not working.
It's snowing.
It is actually snowing. You can see there is snow on the deck. Snow on the table.
When was the last time we were in snow? A couple years probably.
Yeah, it must have been Chicago. Not really on the bingo card for this year. But here we are. Hopefully it shouldn't be too much.
Thankfully we have a heater.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's nice and warm in the boat. Just went ahead and tried to seal up some of the... I think what's happening is the snow's coming this way and then the wind is just blowing it into the cockpit. So we got like a little bit of water here, and unfortunately we were never able to close these still. So got a little snow in here too.
With the memories of winters past, of the
Snow on your head.
It is actually factually snowing, dude. We gotta get south. I gotta finish this repair. First time we've ever been in snow on the boat.
First time I've been in snow in a long time.
The generator's a little buried, but we gave it a little jacket.
Look at our dinghy.
Our dinghies. It's almost like having to brush off a car. It's not like we're going anywhere though with our busted engine.
We're not going anywhere today. It's too cold. That's a couple inches for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at our dinghy.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about that one. It is cold. I was awake at like 3 a.m. as it was like 20 knots of wind, 25 knots of wind. You're like, how did we end up here?
That's okay. Now we know a little bit more of what it's like to sail up north.
Yeah, I was watching Alluring Arctic, which is like a big sailing channel. I think they went through the Northwest Passage and they're posting the videos now. And, you know, at least there's no glaciers around, no
Yeah.
icebergs and stuff.
Could be worse. Could be a lot worse.
Just a little
Could
bit
be a
of
lot
snow.
colder.
Yeah. I don't even have pants on still.
Are you kidding me? I love
I love you.
The post snowball fight. I love you.
The post snowball fight, I love you. Yep. Patrick plus Michaela.
Patrick and Michaela.
Patrick and Michaela.
I gotta do the heart.
Forever. We'll get through this. Just like we've gotten through everything else.
Oh my god, my hands.
Okay, let's go inside. I'm gonna start the generator, or at least try.
I was a little freaked out about the snow. I've dealt with a lot of snow in my life, but never on a sailboat. Snow is something I don't think we ever would have experienced on this boat if we didn't end up getting stuck here. And every year since we left Illinois, I always get really sad around the holidays when I don't get to see any snow. Even though it was after the holidays, I still got to see a little snow this year, and I'm really grateful for that feeling of home.
I am so beyond grateful to have a heater today. My ears are on fire from being outside. I don't even know what that's called, but like when you go out in the cold and then you start warming up and it like burns. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, we haven't been able to start our dinghy engine in like 2 weeks, which is like kind of brutal, honestly. I've really tried everything that I can like reasonably do without just like trying to do like maybe like getting into rebuilding the engine. I think the head gasket is blown. It's like between that and then also trying to rebuild our drive leg, it's just been a little much. Like I just don't have the time to really put in to figure out like what is wrong with this thing and how to fix it. But I did some calling around, and I think our solution here is going to be to buy like a little 2.3 Honda horsepower, like 4-stroke little engine. Like our plan was to go get a 2-stroke in the Bahamas just because of the performance to weight ratio, I think is really dope on those. But we're not in the Bahamas and they don't sell 2-strokes in the United States. So I think we're just going to admit defeat and spend the $900, which is like a little bit hard of a pill to swallow. Call the place. I think we're good to go on it, but we do kind of need to get our current dinghy engine off. So even now it's going to be a little tough to row to shore, I think. It shouldn't be that bad, but we have, 10 knots of wind against us or so. I think the current's also coming this way. My dinghy that's filled with snow.
Shout out to Patrick for shoveling the snow out of the dinghy. This really is reminiscent of our old lives in Illinois.
I thought when we left Chicago we'd be done shoveling snow, but I guess not yet.
Since our current dinghy engine isn't helping us, we decided to take it off and mount it on the side of Thalia. It's about 80 pounds and only makes it harder to row the dinghy. Plus, we wanted to be able to mount the new one right away. We used the main sheet to bring the dinghy up. First we tried with me raising it, but we had to switch places so that Patrick could do the last of the heavy lifting. Some kind folks in the anchorage offered us a tow to shore, which was perfect because there was a lot of wind to fight against while rowing.
Shower flip-flops.
Yeah, they don't really put, what is it? Car scrapers in the rental cars.
Not in the south, at least.
How do you feel driving in the snow?
I feel right at home. I thought we could escape it, but we cannot. But I'm excited. Good day. We called around. We found a good deal on a Honda outboard engine. It's on sale. And we're going to pick up the fenders we need to lift the boat. Feeling motivated to get through the rest of this repair, start putting everything together, and then get headed out.
It's kind of crazy how everything just shuts down here when it snows. As people who grew up in the suburbs of Chicago and then lived in Chicago, it's just, it all just slid off the roof. I totally get that it's different. People here aren't used to driving in the snow, and they don't have the same equipment. They don't have plows. They don't have like the salt. So I understand it's different to drive when it's snowing out here, but it is a little bit funny to see the whole world like shut down for so long because of a couple inches of snow.
Even this marina we're going to that has this outboard was like, yeah, well, we might close it like 1 or 2. And I was like, any reason why? And he was like, well, it snowed, so just not a lot of traffic out there. And I'm like, okay. We're here. It's outboard engine time.
How long was the drive? Like hour and a half?
An hour, 15 minutes. And I think we have some people here meeting us for us to buy the fenders too.
Sick.
Because we hate money today.
Woo, we're spending it all.
Solving problems with cash. But we've saved a lot of money by doing all this work ourselves, so maybe worth? Maybe.
Look at our big fenders.
I'm thinking that'll raise our boat up quite a bit.
I can't even get the whole thing in the shot. Alright, so one thing's still accomplished, but you want to tell them what happened?
I can't get the dinghy engine started. Story of my life, I guess. They say it needs a new spark plug, but I'm like, it's new, so...
Little concerning.
So that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, I drove an hour and 15 minutes or so.
At least we still got the fenders.
We did get the fenders. I'll have to see how well it starts, I guess, because...
It not starting isn't the best sign for wanting to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's brand new.
It's like brand new. It's like, do I want to buy the brand new brand new dinghy engine that's going to be a headache? Like, that seems kind of like a nightmare.
All right, I guess let's head back.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I was excited. That's okay though. We can row home.
So the next thing we're trying to do is get this shaft off. The problem is I feel like you got to be really straight in order to guide it out, because it's, I don't know, not quite precision, but a little bit, I guess. I'm going to drop this thing in the vise to hold it kind of still, and we're going to try to guide the shaft out, and maybe we'll have to tap the last little bit, because I'll show you what I mean. It just gets stuck at the end because of the gears, but I think it just needs like a little glove. We're going to use our patented glove method to make sure that you don't damage our beloved drive leg. See, so that's like right where it stops. Just needed to give it a little bit of extra oomph. Okay, so there's a bearing that we need to get out. Here's a nice shaft. We'll kind of try to leave that guy a little oiled. We want to make sure that everything's staying nice and oiled, just because it's all salt water or salty area, you know. So for this guy, I bought something a little different that I've never even seen before, but I was hoping might help us in this adventure. 2-jaw pilot bearing poke. We can kind of set this up against it, and as we twist this down, so yeah, I think you turn this and it should pull it forward. Wow, look at that! $25, but wow, kind of worth its weight in gold in a sense. Okie dokie.
Patrick made us a new friend, Finn, who you'll probably meet soon, because I think he's going to help us out with the drive leg when we do the swap. He has an extra dinghy engine that he's going to let us borrow when we're here. So, just amazing that this is working out for us, honestly. It's so kind of him.
We're gonna go meet Finn at the dinghy dock and check out this little Mercury engine. Unbelievably kind. Yesterday was so annoying. Today, looking up a little more. So just got to meet Finn, and he gave us this 2.5 horsepower, very simple outboard engine to use while we're here. So super stoked. We got to start it up right away. Doesn't have a neutral. It just goes. So, but I mean, he brought us like oil and gas as well.
He's so kind.
Just a kind person. So excited to get to know him while he's here. Let's get back to the boat for a little while.
Look at us. We're going. Oh my gosh.
Dude, this is awesome. This thing's so little and simple. I kind of love it. I'm losing my grip. I think if I could get this just a little bigger to fit onto this, might be able to just use the plastic to tap it off, which is like a little less risky than, you know, I just don't want to damage anything. But this is like literally just like like perfectly fits inside almost. This is like the smallest amount. Drives me nuts. So like maybe if we just wire brush. Okay, so we now have the bigger part in here just fine. Now we're just gonna try to push this. Now the question is did I accidentally hammer this thing too far in and now I can't get it out? Always something. So that's out, very good. Now just gotta get the shaft out of Okay, it's coming out, slowly but surely. What a fiasco. Got 2 more.
Here's the last bearing we need to get out, which is actually in a pretty tough spot because it sits in a hole that is perfectly sized for it, but then also has to get through another perfectly sized hole to get out of the drive leg. My good friend Conan, who is a mechanical genius in my mind, advised to use a long threaded rod with some nuts and washers to create a similar kind of bearing puller. You can check his stuff out at ttconstructs.com, where he does all sorts of motorcycle building, and other awesome projects. I was really surprised at how well this worked. It seemed to just line the bearing up and get it right through the hole.
Don't forget to subscribe because next time we're going to be getting this drive leg all back together and maybe even go out for a little sail.